Hey everybody, Ryan McCaffrey with IGN here. I'm joined by fellow Thief superfan Vince Ingenito. How goes it, my friend?
It goes very well, my good sir. How are you?
I'm good. Now we have ourselves a Thief gameplay trailer. It's a few minutes worth of actual footage. This is all in-game footage. You and I got to play this game.
We sure did.
Quite a bit of it. You can read the preview, my hands-on preview, on IGN right now. We're looking at Garrett, who I'd like to comment. You can hear his voice, Vince.
Yeah, and
I'm not a fan.
I know you're not, because it's not a certain individual.
Yeah, a gentleman named Stephen Russell was the original voice actor in the first 3 games, and now this is a new universe. Even though it's the same, it's a reboot, new universe. So we've also chosen to apparently recast Garrett, which is annoying enough to me because as a fan, I think Stephen Russell did a fantastic job. Just brought a real sarcastic charm and wit to Garrett, and now
very memorable voice.
I just feel like that's bad enough, but this guy just sounds so generic to me. Sounds like he could be in any video game.
But he's so badass and mysterious.
Even okay, so our friend here, Basso. Let's get back to the beginning of the trailer.
Yeah, let's roll back for a
rant
second.
aside.
Yeah, to 33.
Let's see here.
It's about 33-second mark.
If
you want to go back real quick, we can show people that. You know, obviously, Garrett has been gone for a while, so he picks up this note here, and you can see right there, where are you? Come see me when you get back. B
for Basso.
That's
His old buddy.
B for Basso, you know, who he got out of jail in the first game. Helped out a little in the second game.
That didn't happen because, again, this is a new Thief universe.
Exactly, which is kind of strange to me.
Alternate history.
Yeah, they're changing the lore, but some of the characters are returning. So that's
I want to back up real quick to right. You can see it right here. This is another new little visual element. See the fog around the edging of the screen here? That's how they tell you that you are in complete darkness. There is in the game also a little light gem in the bottom left corner, which is disabled. The HUD elements are turned off. Well, all the other HUD elements are turned off for this video, but it's another sort of. It's so, I guess, theoretically, so you don't have to look down at the corner of the screen. But again, I wanted to turn this off.
Yeah, I really hope that there's an option to turn this off because I'm not a fan.
Well, there wasn't in our build. So there's also an annoying little mini map that you can turn off that I turned off right away.
Right, yeah.
It was just this huge round thing taking up a chunk of the right side of the screen.
Which is strange in a game that's otherwise pretty minimal.
Yeah, let's get to some good news here about the new Thief. And that's number one, the visuals. So you can see here, the game looks like this. We played it on high-end PCs.
Yep.
Looks really nice. There's great volumetric fog effects. The vibe of the city, and it is literally capital C, city. Mm-hmm. It's really a moody, atmospheric, steampunk kind of vibe. I like the visual style of the game a lot, Vince.
I do too. It's a little bit. It's a lot. It reminds me a lot of Dishonored, but not quite as technology based.
Yeah, and I feel like this game's getting a lot of kind of unfair comparisons to Dishonored. I see it on IGN comments threads because this Thief came before Dishonored. Dishonored took a lot from Thief, and now, of course, Thief rebooting. So people are like, oh, that's Dishonored. Like, well, it's not. But they can both coexist. That's the good news.
Absolutely. Now, here we see he is, Garrett is pilfering some people's coin purses, as he is wont to do. And the main reason I think this is kind of significant is money actually matters in this game.
Yeah, there's a full economy. You visit a fence. You buy upgrades.
You have very limited resources, too.
And you buy a bunch of different arrows, which we're going to see a few of.
Right, we're going to see that
in
just a little bit.
There is our friend Basso, who's another voice I don't like.
Yeah, you feel like he doesn't fit the...
I don't know, he just doesn't... It doesn't seem right. It doesn't feel right to me.
Let's hear it. You sure you're up to it?
I don't know. He just sounds like a dude from New Jersey. Speaking as a guy from New Jersey.
Well, that's okay.
I got a whole list of people here for you.
I got a list of people for you to knock off and make them sleep with the fishes, see?
But again, this is all actual gameplay. This is a real level.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Looks gorgeous. And in a few seconds, we got something cool coming up. Right here.
What? Our old friend, the Water Arrow.
Yes, old friend, the Water Arrow
returns. I love the Water Arrow so much.
Works great.
There's your little... And the other thing I like here, too, we'll pause it on this. I love the third game, which was also not done by Looking Glass. It was done by Ion Storm Austin, which was under Warren Spector's direction. Although it wasn't.
That's right, yeah.
And they actually made a big departure. They made Thief Deadly Shadows third person, which, again, as an old school Thief fan, made me dry heave.
Sure.
at least in that game, you could switch right back to first person. So I like that this game is very, very first person. You can see Garrett's hands, you can see his feet, his head bobs around a lot. There's
definitely a sense of his body,
yes,
and like that
you're
inhabiting
staunch
his
first
body.
person.
Yeah, the only time it ever goes
game.
to third person is when, like during like cinematic of like when you do like a melee takedown.
Yeah, or if you're climbing, you're
later.
mantling around.
Right.
Yeah, too. So you can peek around corners, pop out of closets.
Okay, now this...
Yeah, right here, Vince. Tell us
This right
about
here
this.
is really significant. So this is a good example of what things look like when you're in the new focus mode, which I know you're not super thrilled about
because
because
it's the
kind of like...
Batman, Arkham Asylum, Detective
See, now,
Vision,
it's
the Hitman,
kind of like that.
The Hitman, game over, I win mode.
One thing I do like about it, though, is that it seems to not regenerate. It's like a limited resource, kind of like mana, and it doesn't seem to come back, or if it does, it's very, very slow. Now,
Yeah,
in
you
this
don't.
case,
You can't use it all the time.
Right. Now, in this case, it's showing you panels where a trap can be set off. That thing on the floor is a trap, I believe.
Some interactive locations, essentially.
Yeah, and so you can see where like maybe there's a panel you can hit with like a blunt arrow or something like that. And if you keep going another couple of seconds in, you'll see there's mechanisms like this where you have this wire cutter, and those mechanisms power those traps. So you can find the mechanisms powering the traps. You can snip them.
You don't have now the wire cutter too is an item that you buy from the fence. You don't have to buy it.
Right.
There are alternative ways. I do like in the game there are multiple ways to do everything. To
absolutely.
get in or out of a building, to accomplish an objective. The wire cutters, you don't have to buy them, but if you do have them, they might make getting to your objective easier.
Yeah, absolutely.
I survived to steal.
And here's another example,
Little
like
lockpicking?
Yeah, lockpicking. So now, what's interesting here is that what they just showed there is only what lockpicking looks like when you're in focus mode. When you're not in focus mode,
and it goes faster in focus mode.
Exactly. And when you're not in focus mode, it's very much like the old Splinter Cell way, where you're just looking at the lock and you're rotating the
We'll actually
the pin
see
around.
that in a second here coming up.
I think they showed it right before the
right here.
the focus footage. Okay, yeah, and this is a new mechanic that I really like, where you're actually there's frames like picture frames and panels, and that what they're showing there is actual gameplay. Like you're guiding his hand along the borders of that picture.
Again, the HUD elements have been turned off for this trailer. There's the little white circles at the bottom of the screen that pulse stronger as you're on the spot you need to be on, and your controller vibrates as well.
And it goes with the vibration too. Yeah. So I think that's very Thief-like. It makes you really feel like you're searching for hidden passages and things. And if we could back up 1 second too to that
You
big.
bet.
I think it's at 158.
All right, back a couple more seconds.
And yeah, right here. Okay, so we're talking over this, so people aren't really hearing. But the trailer mentions something called the Heart of the Lion.
Correct.
It's the Baron's like big treasure, and I'm
There
pretty
it is.
sure, judging from the two lion heads on either side, this is probably at least in the initial part of the game. This is Garrett's like what he's
Right,
gunning
this is the
for.
main objective. This is a big level. I played this level at E3.
Oh, okay, cool.
And we've actually played a different area in the preview that I hope you're reading after you watch this video. But yeah, this is a nice big level in the game.
Yeah, I'm interested to see like what kind of lore they build around this Heart of the Lion, if it has like mystical powers or.
And yoink! See ya. So and here's you mentioned a third-person moment.
Yeah,
when
that clip right there was actually like directly taken from one of the melee takedowns. And here we have
the rope arrow.
Rope
Woo-hoo!
arrow. Woo!
Can't fire it anywhere. You can only fire it at certain places.
Yeah, I hope they don't
Still
get
useful,
too restrictive with that. I don't
agree.
want it to be something where it's just a puzzle mechanic where you just use it when they say it's time to use it. I hope that there's some kind of dynamic way you can apply it. Wow,
Now,
great fire
this
effects.
This is the end of the mission we've been watching this whole time, where you just have to flee the burning building. I'm not sure how I feel about this because there's no stealth here. You're just escaping. And when I played this at E3, I was very confused running around. I got lost. I died a lot and had to retry. It wasn't very obvious where to go. I'm not,
and it also looks like it's heavily scripted. Like it's definitely
100%. And so I wanted to get back.
Piece, quote unquote.
The stuff we saw earlier in the video was way more thiefy, but
definitely, and that's what I hope the game focuses on.
February 25th, 2014. So it is coming up soon.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot I like about this game, Vince. Speaking as an old school Thief fan, there are some things that concern me, which you can read in the preview. But I'm curious to see how the whole thing's going to turn out, and it won't be a very long wait.
No, I mean I think you can see even from this trailer that some of the mechanics are extremely Thief-like, even if some of the presentational elements, maybe the focus effect perhaps to some purists might not be, but overall I think we both were happy with what we played, and definitely looking forward to seeing how this one pans out in February.
You bet. So for all things Thief, you are already in the right place.
There is no
IGN.
reward with